throw it out, throw it in the trash. The mantra, what happens here stays here. Although I do believe that there should be a level of confidentiality and privacy that is within the home and the family dynamic. I think when abuse is involved, that should not stay here. Mm-hmm. And I think when we use those types of statements, we make it okay for those types of behaviors to take place. Mm-hmm. And we basically cut off the opportunity for everybody to get help. I know you mentioned something earlier about we do the offender a disservice. Yeah, I think that they're a victim in it too. And so when we have those types of statements, it's bondage is really what it is. Keeping people bound. And so I don't agree with it. Throw it in the trash. If there's abuse that's going on, whether it's physical, sexual, psychological, whatever the case may be, someone needs to know so that help can, because you never know, like people don't realize the things that happen even as a kid, those are seeds planted. And if they're not corrected or uprooted over time, what it will spawn into. You hear stories or we see these movies and things like that. And the question was asked earlier about making correlations with movies. We see these movies and things about people becoming sociopaths and psychopaths, not realizing the stuff that was planted when they were a kid. Right. Because what happens here stays here. Right. Instead of dealing with whatever the issue is and making sure that it's uprooted. And so, again, I say, as you can see, I don't like it, throw it in the trash.
Yeah, I agree. Throw it in the trash. I also think that one of the things that I'm intentional about telling couples or really anybody, I think it's a sense of accountability. And it's I like how you said also that it's not that, everyone knows your business and stuff like that, but having a selective few. So one of the things I always say is everyone doesn't have to know, but someone needs to know. Right. And really being intentional about who you're selecting to know. You don't want the person that's like, it's going to be okay. And, they're going to keep it secret too. Yeah,
enabler.
Exactly. You don't want the enabler, but you want the person that's going to be an advocate for your growth, an advocate for your health and your safety. I think one of the things that the idea of accountability is not keeping something in the dark. Right. Because that's where the enemy works best at. And I use the whole phrase of, bring it to the light, like light it up. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, he works in secret, the enemy works in secret, he works in the darkness. So once you light it up and someone knows, you've exposed it. Right. And now work can be done. I think that's the whole aspect of prayer too. It's when we're praying about something, we're opening the door and we're saying, okay, God, come into this situation. Yes. And prayer and all of those things, they ultimately should be leading you towards health and growth and, he would that we would prosper and be in good health. Yes. That's the idea that exposing it to someone is going to bring that to you instead of, it's like a doctor telling you have cancer. Mm-hmm. And they're saying, we need to do something about that cancer. And you're like, no, I want to keep it inside. It stays here. Right. What happens here stays here. It's going to stay right inside and continue to fester and eat away at me. And eventually I'm going to die from it. And if I do nothing about it, if I keep it in the dark, but it's necessary to expose it to the right medical professionals, things like that. Right. Same thing. I think that goes along with anything that we deal in life. Accountability is so key. Without accountability, we don't grow. We don't become our best selves. We stay in bondage in the place that we're in. We're not exposing it to those. It's almost a sense of pride if you really think about what happens here stays here, because it's saying we got this, we can handle this, we know what to do.
But you can't.
Not at all.
Ever.
Not at all, ever. It just gets worse. And so I feel like it's a sense of pride. I don't want to expose this because it's going to be humiliating. Yeah. So it's going to stay here and we'll figure it out and we'll work it out. So I am totally against the what happens here stays here. It was said frequently growing up. Frequently. And it's like, really? Like, no, we need to tell someone, and would get in trouble if I did tell someone. And it's like, or if someone just happened to find out because now I have long sleeve shirts on and it's hot outside and it's like, so why do you have a long sleeve shirt on? So how did that happen to you? What are those marks from? And so it creates a fear too for the child, because then they're like, if I tell, what's going to happen?
Consequences.
Not only are you going to come and have maybe CPS or whomever come and be a part of it, while that may be ultimately what I want to be rescued from it, at the end of the day, if I have to go back, I'm going to suffer the consequences for that, because they said what happens here stays here. And that's a threat.
Yes.
That's a threat.
Yeah.
That's totally a threat. So yes, totally in the trash. Not for that at all.